I'm Full Paragon, and this is the Konosuba Fantastic Days Arena Tier List Update for June 2022. There were a great many changes to the tier list in May due to the introduction of Super 2s and the Danmachi collab, both of which helped to drastically alter the meta. First, let's go over the changes to the permanent roster. Arabian Amy is excellent and goes into A tier. She's solid, dealing good damage, having good healing, and having a lot of utility for Dark Mage teams. For Arabian CeeLo, she goes into B tier. She's a decent healer, but teams in Arena want more. She's more useful in other content. As for the welfare adventure that came with the Arabian banner, I'm afraid that Erica just doesn't cut it. A double affliction kit and Dark as an element is heavily favored toward mages. She goes into B tier for now, but expect her to fall to C tier. She's really just in B tier because Dark has so few options. From the Ninja 1A banner, both Mitsurugi and Mia go into C tier. They're in an element that's firmly ruled by mages and Amelia, and they have garbage selfish kits. However, the welfare that came with that banner, Dark Rin, is truly excellent. She's better than most 4-star adventurers. Her agility up combined with the new Dark Super make her incredibly powerful, and she goes into A tier. Second half of the Ninja banner featured Ninja Aru. She is an Earth mage, and in a vacuum she's quite good, but Earth is perhaps the only element that's totally dominated by physical, so she's off meta in B tier. As for Ninja Wiz, she's not bad, it's just that Light has a lot of really powerful options, and Christmas Wiz is just better, so she goes into B tier. As for the Welfare Amy, she's complete garbage, D tier. Now we come to the big shakeup from banners, which is the Danmachi collab. It was roughly the equivalent of setting off an explosion in the meta. Eyes is incredibly powerful. Her personal damage is off the charts, she has incredible team utility, and she will give physical teams the boost that they needed. She will reign as a meta queen for quite some time. SSS tier. As for Danmachi Aqua, she has strong personal DPS as well as powerful team utility, combined with an ultimate that suits her perfectly. She'll revitalize physical and light. I'm putting her in S tier. Danmachi Darkness is an A tier sub, but she falls short of being in the meta as a main unit. She's really great on Eyes, and future better Darknesses will really want her. She's even quite good in other content, but she's B tier for Arena. For a welfare, Bell isn't bad. He's gonna see at least some usage, as cooldown cut and a tier 3 defense down on a skill are quite strong, but he's not gonna be in every team, especially since Fire is ruled by Christmas Wiz and Railguns. He's gonna go into A tier though. There were many other changes to the tier list from older adventurers. First off, we'll go over the promotions. Both 3-star Megamine and original Fire Megamine were promoted to S tier. Railgun is just too good, and they're the best carriers for it in Fire Arena. It just depends on who is better based on your team. Take your pick. RPRU has a new light-based super that's awesome, along with a stellar kit. She gets a promotion to S tier. Snipe and Danmachi Aqua have also given RP Cosma a nice boost, and he's promoted to A tier. Original Chris, Wind Mitsurugi, and Kenpo Erica are all excellent with Eyes. Because they've already shown themselves that they can compete with mages thanks to Eyes, they're moving up to A tier. As for Arabian Chris, she's one of the best light options for physical, and I think she'll work quite well with Danmachi Aqua thanks to her agility buff and debuff, along with pretty good damage. She's promoted to A tier as well. While some adventurers improved in their performance, others have fallen. The first in the Hall of Shame is actually not that shameful, being Swimsuit Wiz. She's mostly dropping down because she's no longer mandatory to get top scores in Lightning Arena, as we now have other options. Still quite solid, and she's only going down to A tier. As for Onsen and Snow Megamine, they just don't offer enough in their respective elements anymore, and they're demoted to B tier. Mages continue their dominance in Fire Arena, and Snow Aru and now Belle are probably just better slot 5s than Halloween Iris, so she's demoted to B tier. While Slappy Rin had a remarkably good run for a launch 3-star, she just can't keep up with the meta anymore. Earth's physical gets stronger every day with new toys from the Ballroom banner and now Eyes, and as such, she's being dropped down to off meta in B tier. The same goes for Wind Cecily. Wind teams just don't need a healer like her anymore. She continues to be gimped by bad ultimates and is demoted to B tier. There's also not any real reason to run Axel Hart's Erica over Lightning Mitsurugi or even Eyes. As such, she's put down to B tier before she really had a chance to do anything at all. Our two footnotes here are Original Mia and Onsen Aqua. They were never any good, and as the meta gets stronger with better and better units added all the time, they're going to be dropped down into D tier. Good riddance. I will briefly summarize the meta element by element. In Fire, of course, Christmas Wiz continues her reign, which has lasted for 6 months now, and shows no sign of letting up. Megumin also has proven that she's quite valuable in this meta, and she's going to do even better now that we have the Railgun. Other powerful adventures for her team include Halloween Union, who's probably the best option, and Snow Aru and Swimsuit Rin. Those mages are all quite strong. Bell does fairly decently as a slot 5, as he can come in, lower the cooldown for your mages, and even deal a little magic damage. He's not quite as good as Snow Aru, I think, but I think he'll still sneak onto some teams. Physical is totally off meta in Fire. Even though Erica got a new fire-based ultimate, which could be quite good, I don't think she's going to see much uses outside of occasional niche use for people who don't have Christmas Wiz and need to charge up Railgun. The rest of the options down below you can see just have fallen off sharply. There's not any real reason to ever use Bunny Wiz or especially characters like Swimsuit Cecily. Fire will still be firmly the Railgun meme show. Water Arena continues to be Amelia's domain, and it will likely remain that way until we get Festival Aqua during the anniversary, probably in August. Her best teammates are, of course, Christmas Wiz, Megumin, either ReZero or Academy, Academy Union, and in the last slot, Water Aru. That team has remained the same for quite some time. You can make a few substitutions here and there, thanks to the relative depth of the water pool, pun intended, with units like Valentine's Wiz or Swimsuit Union, or perhaps even Valentine Cecily. But those 5 are so much better, they will continue to dominate the meta, and I doubt you will see any teams at all not running Amelia in the top 1k for Water Arena, at least until we get Godqua. Lightning as an element is one where you can have success running either a physical or a mage team, although in both, Lightning Silo or El Silo continues to be at the absolute pinnacle of the meta. For the mage team, you're going to of course run ReZero Megumin along with Swimsuit Wiz, 3-star Lightning Union, and perhaps in the back you'll run something like Casino Iris or another one of the physical options to deal some last second damage. As for the physical team, it has quite a few options. You'll probably run Lightning Mitsurugi, Kenpo Leah, Snow Chris, and even Eyes on this team, although you can also run characters like Axel Hart's Erica or Melissa Cat Cuddler. They're just slightly off meta. Overall, I think Lightning is in a good place, having some good permanent options, as well as powerful limited picks for more budget players. Earth is the one element where mages just don't really show up. You can still make a budget mage team, but physical is going to be much better. The physical team is going to run Casino Mitsurugi, probably Eyes, and you will even see Earth Megumin up front on occasion. Kazuma and New Year Aqua are also good options. This team is pretty stacked, and I think physical will stay good in Earth for quite some time to come, especially due to the dearth of mage options. Wind welcomes its new Meta Queen Eyes with open arms, although Rin and her mages still do quite well. Eyes is powerful enough that she is the best option even on mage teams. She can solo carry herself with no need for backup, but if you want to run a physically based Eyes team, it's pretty viable now. Good options for her are units like Chris, Win Mitsurugi, and Kenpo Erica. For the mages, you'll want to run the standard Christmas Wiz and Megumin, either Cafe or ReZero, along with Onsen Union. Healing in Wind is something that many teams are passing by, although decent options for that include Cafe Cecily and Maid Amy. Light as an element has some really powerful options. Of course, it's home to the Meta Queen, ReZero Megumin, who shows up on just about every team no matter the element, but she now has some serious competition from Danmachi Aqua. Because Light has 2 physical units with powerful light-based ults, namely Iris and now Danmachi Aqua, The physical team has the tools it needs to do well. You'll run not only Don Machiako and Iris, but characters like RP Kazuma and Arabian Chris. For the mages, they have Yunyun and Aru with light-based ultimates, along with Cafe Megamine and Christmas Whiz. In the last slot, you'll probably run Iris for physical as well. She just does a really awesome job coming in at the last moment and dealing a lot of damage. Dark continues to have one of the shallowest pools, although based on the banner previews we've gotten, we know that in the coming month of June and into July, we're going to get some better options for Dark, which will really help it out. Currently, there's no replacing Aru in Dark. She is just far too powerful, and Dark-based mage teams completely rule the roost. She's going to want Welfare Dark Rin as well as PJ Union on her team, and of course, Arabian Amy, who's the fuel that really makes that team tick. Physical and Dark is just completely off meta. Hopefully we'll get some new choices like PJ Mia to help them out a little bit, but I foresee Dark Mages continuing to be the best option for some time to come. Taken all together, the tier list looks a little something like this currently. I had to split it into two pieces as it's just getting absolutely huge. Here you see the meta queens, the absolute top of the meta units, and the meta units. I define meta queens as units who see cross-elemental usage and don't really need any backup, and frankly have no replacements and are just utterly pervasive and dominant in the meta. Top of the meta units are units that you really need for strategies to work in a specific element, and without them, your team suffers mightily and there's not any really good replacement for them. Meta units are just those solid workhorses who see quite a bit of usage, consistently making it into the top 10 most used units in Arena. I'll note that depending on whether the Arena advantages or disadvantages physical or mage units, some elements see certain teams work better, although in others like Dark, there's really only one team that you'll use regardless of what the boss is doing. And here are the lower tier units. While the B tier units do see occasional usage, and you can swap them into your team and still get good results, once we get down to the C and D tier, these units are pretty much never used and are never a good option if you're looking to score highly in Arena. You can find a link to the complete image for the tier list, as well as various other resources to a link to the tier list document in the description of this video. That's the video. Thanks for watching. I recently noticed I'm getting pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, so when we do cross that milestone, I'll try and do something special to celebrate. Thank you for watching this and my other videos, and I hope to see you around soon in Konosuba Fantastic Days.